opening your heart to the possibilities. Welcome to my podcast, where we have stories about all possibilities in life. We present to you a platform where you will discover new perspectives on how things can unfold in your own journey. Through real stories shared by genuine individuals, we strive to inspire and support your personal growth. This podcast is recorded on Wurundjeri country. I acknowledge the traditional and culture of the Wurundjeri people, the first people of Melbourne, where we live and work. We respect and honour Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, elders past, present, and emerging. We have the beautiful Ammie. She's a fellow journey woman from the School of Shamanic Womancraft. So that's where I met her, and I've been spending a lovely year with her this year, which has been so beautiful and enlightening for me because I love the aspect of what she does for her professional life. Ammie is a plant whisperer, someone who immerses in the botanical world, which she connects to day in her day-to-day life. And it's like she connects into a spiritual world, and it is her professional world. She encompasses this through her waking and dreaming world, and it is her true love, because I've seen it in action. I see it vibrate through her essence. I see when she's talking about plants when we're walking along in a field, and she's like, oh, that's that, and it does that, and I'm like, oh my God. So that for me is a big thrill because I love everything to do with plants and plant medicine and the burning of plants in sacred ceremony. So that's my thing.
Mm.
But welcome, Ammie. Welcome to our podcast. I'm so excited
Hello.
you're here.
Thanks for having me, Lydia. It's great to be here. Thanks for that nice little intro. Yeah, it's true. It lights me up. Find the thing that lights you up is the key to life, and that's one of the things that chose me.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's just all through your core. Like, when someone closes their eyes and they go, oh, I just want to connect into Ammie. And when I did that for you, it was all just like, what I see is this, there's no feet. There's just this woman with branches and leaves and flowers, and then Ammie appears from this beautiful bush connection. So it's like, oh, I love that.
Yep. Yeah, thanks. I love that too. I love that that's how you vision me.
I do every time because I feel it. It's like it's your higher self, you encompass that. You need that in order to survive. So I think it's just beautiful to connect into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And because I love it, I love the plant kingdom and the herb kingdom and world in that way. Yeah, I really find it easy to connect into that within you. It's just so easy.
Well, there's so many aspects to it as well. Like you've just spoken about how you connect with plants in a spiritual way,
Mm,
with the resins and the herbs. But we all connect with plants in our own way. Like we all eat every day,
yeah.
and some of us wear clothes that are made out of plant fibers, cotton. It's so part of our practical, and then, yeah, for some people, it's part of their spiritual as well. Some people are gardeners by hobby or trade, and so, yeah, for me, I find that I can't walk past a plant without acknowledging it or wanting to know what it is or maybe what what properties it has or uses it has, and just always testing myself as well, like, "Oh, that's one that I don't know. What's Oh, I wanna find that one out. I wanna learn more about it."
Yeah. I understand that. I've dabbled with making uh loose leaf smudges and walking the streets and like touching the trees or the bushes or the plants or the herbs and just going, is that right? Is that right? Does that feel right? Oh, what does that bring? What do you bring when you're burning it for you know, a ceremony or giving it to someone? And that's how I learned. And then I was like, oh, some of these are edible. How do I do that? Add that to it. I mean, I don't do that often with eating stuff, herbs, yeah, all the time because I grow some unusual stuff. But um, yeah, definitely for burning for me or for putting into um, oils to rub on my body. Yeah, been I've been really focusing on that more this year, going, oh, that's a good, that's got all these anti-inflammatories and all that stuff in it. And I go, oh, what can I use that for? So
Yeah.
I was just looking around my room and I just look at across and there's like jars everywhere of what I've been soaking in oil and what I rub on my body. And yeah, it's nice. It's,
And because 'cause you're quite intuitive as well, so you'll have your way of tuning into to people and your way of tuning into herbs, and you'll be getting, your feeling or your insight about what it's for, and yeah, I think everyone has their own kind of intuition, whether they've, used it or understand it very well, but yeah, for me as well, I think of plant whispering because the plants kind of communicate with me in their own way because I've gathered a whole lot of knowledge and experience over the years and um, the amount of plants and their uses is an endless amount of information. So sometimes you can learn it but forget it, or maybe you haven't learnt it, but somehow in your self there is some knowledge there, and so I kind of connect in with that plant and listen for a little whisper.
yeah,
What can it tell me? And usually I just get the tiniest bit of a clue from the plant. And for me, for my science brain, that's enough for me to go, oh, okay, so now I can narrow it down and I'll Google a few things or check a book. Yep, that's what it is. It's definitely that. And then I can find out more about it.
yeah, I love that. I love that. So what's your favorite plant at this point in time? Because I know it will change, but like right now, what's your favorite plant?
Oh,
Plant, tree, herb.
what's my favorite plant? Oh, that's a tough one. Okay, I'm just gonna go with one that popped up first, because it's one of the cutest little native grassland species. It's in the pea family, so it has a pea-shaped bright red flower,
Oh, wow.
and it's called running postman. It's
Running postman. I'm writing this down because I like that. Running
because
postman.
it's this bright red and running because it's a prostrate
Yeah.
ground cover creeping thing, but it has these beautiful clover-like leaves and these bright red flowers. Think like a sturt desert pea, but
Oh,
more
yeah.
a lot smaller and delicate and cute. And yeah, I just whenever I see that plant in its natural environment, I get quite excited. It's like, oh, it's a Canidia prostrata. Look at this, everyone.
I love that.
It's
I love
very
that.
cute. Yeah,
I'm
you'll
definitely
like that when you
I'm
find
gonna
a
look that
picture.
one up. I've just
Yeah.
marked it on my book. All right. So thanks for talking all things plants. I could do that for the whole hour, but maybe we'll get you back to do that as well. But we're here to talk about a little bit about your story and about how
Yeah.
you got to where you are today and the amazing woman that you are and the way that you hold yourself and support and do the things that you do. So yeah, let's dive into that and share with us a little bit about you.
Great, yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, where should I start?
So just start where, you know, you wanted to tell us a story about you and how you've become who you are today. And what did that look like? So we can, you know, teach other people that if they've got a similar situation, that they're able to come out and blossom at the other
Yeah,
end, you know? So start
yeah.
from wherever
Okay.
you feel needs it should be started.
Well,
No pressure.
I'll start from here and I'll work back a little bit, because that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So, the last the last few years, I feel like my life has just gone from good to better, and it just keeps getting better. And it's like I've reset and restarted, and through being intentional, have got all the aspects of my life in a place where I'm so content and so um, proud of where I've come from and where I am now. And yeah, it's nice to break up your life into those different categories and say, okay, so this is my part of my life that needs a bit of work or needs a bit more focus. And so even though I'm really content with where I am in all the aspects of my life, I still see room for improvement. I still want to work on myself and work on my relationships and work on my practices and my health and all the things. And yeah, at other times in my life, it was a lot harder to do that because when you are in a lower point, it just feels a lot harder to get yourself out of that. A lot of things when they feel hopeless, you
Mm,
just think, what's the point? Or I've tried and
yeah.
it's not working, and so you're kind of getting that self-fulfilling prophecy of, yeah, it's nothing works and this can't be helped, and why does all this stuff happen to me? um, and then of course that's why things keep happening to you. So yeah, I definitely felt like the COVID time was a really hard time
Mm,
in my life. That was probably the point where, yeah, things were the lowest for me in terms of my my connections with people. I just felt like I didn't really have enough support around me, and um, I lived by myself, and I was able to keep working and work from home, but I didn't really have the family connections or a partner or children, or um,
is
I
that
didn't have
something is
neighbours.
that something you created to not have people around you or
No, no, that was I feel like that was something that yeah, that was something that had happened, gradually,
yeah,
before the COVID situation. I'd had uh, I'd had a time of my mum passing away, which, she was a really close and supportive person in my life,
yeah,
and then from that, um, other family dynamics changed, and you know. Relationship breakdowns happened with my sibling, and that was really a hard thing to navigate. Um, romantic relationship breakdowns
Yeah.
and, subsequent ones left me feeling really disillusioned about how, how I was gonna meet someone or make something work, and was I meant to be by myself, and what did all that mean? And, yeah, so it felt like I needed to change my situation, that I really wanted to just, I felt like there was
Mm.
no reason for me to be where I was, like, there was no one was going to be affected by me not being there anymore,
Yeah.
and it wasn't a suicidal, um, thoughts. It wasn't like I wanted to end my life. I just felt like there's no reason for me to be here. I might as well be a gypsy living
Yes.
living the dream and traveling the world. But of course, I couldn't leave the state because of COVID. So
Yeah. For the
that
whole
that
year.
was
Yeah.
that was where I was at that point.
Which is
And
which is like essentially by yourself in all the aspects, isn't it? Like really lonely and lonely within yourself as well. So
yeah,
yeah, it's like
and
I've
I
got
want to
nowhere to
make that
go because I'm
distinction
trapped as
as
well in my
well.
own house. Yeah.
Yeah, but between loneliness and aloneness,
Mm.
because I didn't I've spent so much time by myself that I don't get lonely. I really like, I can live by myself and travel by myself, and
Yep.
I like to be by myself, but it was feeling like I didn't have anyone out there on the periphery. Like, if something happened to me, how long would it even take for someone to
Notice.
notice? Or, like,
Yeah.
who was checking in on me in that
Yeah.
time when people were always checking in? "Oh, how you going? Do you need anything?" Or, "Are you struggling?" I felt like, well, that I don't really have any close people that, I'm responsible for, and no one was that person for me. And the people that I did have in my life, that friends, they all had their own people that they were,
Yes.
focused on, because everyone needed to band together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So that's a point, isn't it? That's a point in your life where you actually had a choice. You had a choice of, am I going to stay here? Well, you had several choices, didn't you? I can either stay here in this where I am, or I can go darker, like I can go deeper into this feeling, or I can start to get myself out and start creating a new friendships or new just people around you to connect to, you know? But how did you do that during COVID? Like,
Yeah. I think I might have given myself a bit of a, ultimatum's not the right word, but given myself a bit of a time limit or something,
yeah,
because I was doing a job at the time that I felt, that it was important and I enjoyed doing, and that had a time limit as well. And so I thought, well, that's my reason to keep being here, is to finish that project and see it done really well. And I said, well, when that's done, if I haven't got this feeling of having a real reason to stay, then I'm just gonna pack up my life again and do that
yeah,
gypsy wild thing. And so I guess I was kind of telling the universe, "Will you tell me what to do? Am I meant to be here? Am I meant to keep doing what I'm doing, and like be a solo person and just, focus on my work?" But I really wanted that love connection too.
Mm.
I wanted to share what I had in my life with a partner.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, if that hasn't happened, but, a really good relationship that's worth staying for, if that hasn't happened within that time frame, then universe is telling me, "No, you're meant to be, you know,
Free. Wild
free."
and
Yeah,
free. Yeah.
living wild and free. And so, I believe in putting the intentions out there. Okay, yep. So I do wanna make, I do wanna meet a life partner. So, what am I just gonna sit in my house in the middle of nowhere and wait for that to magically fall on my doorstep, or do I have to keep putting myself out there and, going on dates with people, or, making myself vulnerable, and doing things that, is effort and hard work. Uh, and so it's like, yeah, I do need to put in some effort, and I do need to put myself out there. And so that's what I did. That wonderful world of internet dating.
And the vulnerability is key, isn't it? It's like if I don't like, because you're being vulnerable now, but had to look at yourself and you had to say, hey, there's some things I've got to do, and that is if I want to share my big heart with somebody else, then I'm gonna have to do this or that, and you've definitely done that. Um, so you put yourself out there, and then what happened?
Yeah, well, I was a lot of the times putting myself out there and putting my heart out there, and always had this belief that, that I was worthy of love, and that I was deserving of a healthy relationship. And, so many setbacks along the way, and hurts, and things that make you think, this is not working, this is not worth the pain. um, but yeah, I think that was all meant to happen. That those hard times, those difficult relationships, or non-relationships, really showed me, what it was that I wanted and what I didn't want. And
Yeah.
so when the right person came along, my partner, who I'm with, now, I just I could see all his good qualities, and I could see all that was right with the relationship, because I'd never had anything like that before.
Mm,
And it just, it felt so right, and it felt so amazing to be so comfortable and safe with someone, and so loving. And um yeah, and I can look back on all the other times, and say, well, that was just what we had to do. We had to be ready to find each other at the right time. And, it happened later in life for both of us, and we weren't the people that we were in our 20s. Like, we might not have been right for each other then. So we found each other now, and it is right.
yeah. It's like an initiation, isn't it? Life.
Yeah, you're continually getting tested and initiated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, it's it's never a smooth ride. Like, even when things are good, things are always changing, and the unexpected is always happening. And we don't want to live the same year after year. We do need to progress and change and grow, and it's all about being able to learn from what's happened, and
Mm,
being able to accept the change, and know that it's inevitable, and not struggle against it.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I'm a big
agree.
believer in that old saying of just change the things you can't accept and accept the things that you can't change,
Yeah,
and know the difference between the two. And that just really lets you off the hook with all the decisions that you have to make, because if something's out of your control, it's like, well, just stop struggling against it.
yeah, yeah, that's true. The struggle is the part where, you get stuck in the struggle and then you get lost in the struggle. And then when you can't go beyond that, that's when you can be just sitting in that cycle of that struggle for a long, long time. Uh,
Yeah.
but when you let go of that struggle, whew, you, then you're back. Oh, there was my initiation. I held that struggle. Like I know, or like even for myself, I've held struggles for long periods of time in my life, years,
Yeah.
years and years. And then when I've gone, oh, I don't actually have to hold that and let it go, I've gone, oh shit. Right,
Yeah.
that's how it is. So you found your life partner, which is beautiful. Um, how do you still honor Ammie in a relationship now that you've got a life partner? How do you still honor Ammie in that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the beautiful things about the relationship, is having a partner that really lets you be so free and unencumbered within that love bubble.
Yeah,
And so you feel so supported and held, but not so tightly that you can't just spread your wings and do all of your passions and go off for a weekend or a week or a month to do that thing that you want to do.
yeah.
When you've got a partner that says, "Yeah, I see how important that is to you. I want you to go and do it," and you go, "Oh, wow, thanks," and they don't make you, they don't get resentful or make you feel guilty about it. Um, then yeah, that's really the support that you want. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's how we both are for each other. We want to see each other grow and develop and enjoy life, um, whatever it is we choose to do. And we feel secure enough within that to know that we both really treasure our time together and our relationship, and nothing would ever threaten that. So we don't have to feel insecure about someone saying that they're going to go off and do this
Yeah,
thing for themselves.
yeah,
It's really attractive in your partner to see them pursuing um, their interests and their things that light them up. And
mm,
yeah, so I continue to do lots of amazing things that um, yeah, that increase my learning and experiences, like what we're doing together with the School of Shamanic Womancraft. That's a bit of a time commitment away from home and family, but yeah, it's just something that's really enriching my life. So I keep doing things like that.
yeah. It's a great thing. But I want to touch back on that that beautiful dance that you talked about just then between the masculine and the feminine in you and your partner, and how, there is this open support for that human being in the relationship to continue to grow. And I think that's a really great point to make, because when we start, because we do it, we're human, right? So there are some of us that are stronger in this, but it's like there are times where we go, oh no, you can't do that. And then you start, there's a control factor. And yes, we know where
Mhm.
it comes from. It's a childhood thing, but when you look at it from the sense that you've just described, this beautiful holding space between the masculine and the feminine to still grow as an individual in a coupled relationship, it's 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 a powerful thing. And
Mm,
I know that you've experienced the opposite of that as well.
mm.
And now you're experiencing it in this form. Tell us a little bit more about what does it do for you? How does that feel? What's Yeah, I want people to
Yeah.
understand what it feels like to be in a mutual growth relationship
Mm.
where both of you are open to grow.
Yeah, it feels really safe and
Mm,
like you're really trusted and you really trust your partner. And um it's it's not making everything about yourself as well. Like when like my partner this morning said, "Oh, I'm going to plan a long weekend with a friend and I'm going to go and do all these amazing things with them and we're going to, stay here and do this." And um for me, that I wasn't hearing, "Oh, I don't want to do these things with you and I don't want to spend time with you." I was hearing, all the positives of what he was saying, and I was thinking, "Oh, well, your friend is gonna love that, and you're gonna get so much enjoyment out of that, and
yeah,
I'll be at home taking care of some things so that he can do that." And, um and I get some enjoyment out of seeing his joy and that I've been able to help facilitate that in a way, just as he has for me. Like he's been able to be the one at home and take care of things while I've gone off and done my things. And so it's not jumping to any conclusions about, "Oh, you're doing that because you don't wanna spend time with me," or there's um, that real knowing that our relationship is so strong and we love spending time together whenever we can,
yeah,
that, anything that either one of us does, it's never taking away from that because I know and trust so strongly that I'm I'm his number one priority
mm,
and he wants to spend time with me. I don't have to feel insecure about that. But yeah, it wouldn't be healthy for us to just cut off all our other friends and family and be like, "Oh no, this is my person now." So I really should be spending all my free time with them.
mm,
It's knowing that um it's gonna give us more things to talk about and
yeah,
all that thing when we do come back together and I see how recharged and energized he is, and it's like when I go off and do my thing like a holiday by myself, I can do stuff like that and I'll come back and be sharing photos and experiences and gifts. Yeah.
yeah. It's beautiful, isn't it? Because when you're in that and both of you are experiencing things outside of the relationship, it doesn't make when you come back in, there's a new topic to talk about. But there's also like there's that sense of, oh, I I can still be me in this relationship. I
Yeah.
can still go on a holiday by myself. I can still do whatever, right? And I'm still me. And then I come back and be me in a coupled relationship. It's so important.
And we keep choosing each other as well. It's like
Yeah.
I don't want this trapped little bird that I think, "Oh, I can't have him out there meeting other people, something might happen." It's like, yeah, go and meet all these amazing people and do all these amazing experiences, and then you're still coming back and choosing me. It's like, "Oh, there was all these amazing people out there, and I'm still coming back to what feels right, what I love, what I know." And so that just builds the relationship even stronger,
Oh,
knowing
yeah,
that your person is free to go off and choose whatever they wanna do, but they keep choosing you.
yeah, yeah. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling. It just holds you. It's very grounding when you have a relationship like that, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you grow. You grow together and you grow apart. I mean, individually, but it's beautiful. Mm. So tell us what's next for Amy?
oh, there's
What's on the agenda?
always all sorts of things happening, yeah, with the plant world things, yeah, working in the land care space and helping people, um, identify the plants on their property and um how to make their um, operations more environmentally sustainable and create habitat and those kinds of things.
Wow.
In my own garden, it's full of all sorts of wild growing things and as much diversity and edible and medicinal plants as possible. There might be some little magical creative projects happening
Yeah,
in the way of writing things and creating things and teaching people about edible weeds is another fun thing that I like to do. So
yeah,
generally there's different workshops that I offer on fermenting food and edible weeds and edible gardens, foraging,
yeah,
um, and women's circles as well. Some of those teachings from the school I like to weave into a regular gathering of sitting in circle and sharing stories.
yeah,
This is the new year. So in that new year phase of setting intentions and being, really intentional about what I want to focus on this year, I think the biggest project on the horizon this year is planning a wedding. So that's pretty exciting. That's where a lot of my attention is going into, dreaming that ceremony up and
yeah.
visioning that. Yeah, so
That's
lots of
beautiful.
beautiful, exciting things happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Do I hear on the secret squirrel business that you might be putting out a deck of special cards at some point?
Yeah, that's something that I've started working on that's pretty exciting, and it really would weave in some of the botanical knowledge with some of the spirituality side of yeah, having an oracle deck that's got the weeds and their magical properties and their guidance that they can whisper to us. So
Oh my
yeah.
God, I'm so excited about that. I'm so
The
excited
foraging
about
oracle.
it. Yeah, I just like so desperately want to see them. Because
I better kick
I know
myself up
already
the
they're so
bum.
good. They're so good. They're gonna be amazing. So you run workshops and all sorts of things. So how would we find you to come to one of your workshops or your women's circle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the best way to connect with me is on Instagram. I post my events up on there, so we can share that with people. It's Ammie Ammie dot plant whisperer, and then from there you can find my other links and
Yeah.
website and things. Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you got coming up? What's the next workshop that you've got coming up?
Well, I take a bit of a break over the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and so spring and autumn are quite busy for the workshops. That's the best time to get out looking at wild plants and being able to identify them. So I'll have a couple more weed foraging workshops in the autumn.
Awesome.
Haven't got anything set in, but I'll restart my women's circles, and I'll be doing some more sourdough and sauerkraut making workshops, which are really fun, and that's something that people are really wanting, those practical, tangible skills, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, they're so good. When you've learned to use make bread and make, sour foods, fermented foods, it just changes your life, I reckon. Really. I used to do all the kombuchas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't do it now because, hello. But but every now and again I'm like, oh, I go looking on Gumtree for someone who does it locally so I can just pick some up.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't do it, but I know that there's like a group of people that do this stuff and I can just get a bottle every now and again. Because it's so good. So good. So good for your
Yeah.
tummy.
Oh, it's all about the diversity of flora, whether it's your gut flora or your garden or your nearby forest,
Yeah.
makes for a healthier system. Oh, and I've also going to schedule in some shamanic drum journey um, sessions for people to meet their power animal, because that's
Oh,
something that we have got so much uh, benefit and guidance from,
yeah.
being able to tune into our spirit animal, power animal.
Yeah. It's an important thing, um, those shamanic tools, because when you connect into that and you understand that power animal, you also understand how you've been walking in life and how that animal showed up for you. It's really interesting because I did that journey a long time ago and it was the eagle, and then I did it again with you lovely ladies, and it was the fox, and it was really interesting because the eagle has served me really well, and it continues to do that. But when the fox came in, I was like, oh, this is new. And when I felt into the power animal and what the fox was like, I was like, yeah, yeah, that's me too. I remember going, oh, they like to stay on the outside and watch, and I do that. Like I do that in circle. I do it at when we meet and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, I've always done
Yeah.
that. I've always not creeped around the outside, but I've watched watch people. I see things they're doing or saying that others may not actually do or hear or see at that time. I seem to be able to get an umbrella view, which is what the fox is really, really good at. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. I have done that all my life. So, yeah. And yours
It
is
can be
that.
surprising what comes through and chooses you.
Yeah, I know. I love that. And what is your power animal? I mean, I know, but what is your?
Well, I got bat, and the little micro bats is what I journey with when I'm on a drum journey, and they've taught me a lot. It wasn't what I expected to to get, um, but the more I tuned in to that and felt into what kind of properties does the bat have and what sort of messages does it teach me. Like each new journey, I get some other little gem of wisdom. Um, but the main thing's really it's about like that rebirth. And so I said before, I felt like I left parts of my old life behind and I've restarted and you know this second chapter of life and this rebirth and they live in a colony as well, so it's all about that community. It's all about building community and being surrounded by others and working together. And so that was something that I was really focusing on. That's building community and moving to a new area. I really had to connect with the new place and the new people and build that community around me. And having the community of the school was another really important thing for me that I felt like I needed to acknowledge that and be grateful for that.
Yeah.
And then at other times it's shown me that I can hold on too tightly to control when I'm worried about things. I can it's like I'm hanging on. And so I got this picture of the bat, the way it hangs upside down.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, what happens if I let go? What happens if the bat lets go? It just spreads its wings and it flies and it discovers new things. And so that was telling me it's okay. You don't have to hold on so tight to things. You can just glide along and flow. See
Yeah.
what you find and learn.
Yeah. That's that big lesson, isn't it? That you don't have to hold things. You don't have to control things. When you let it go, that's where the gold is.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So amazing. All right, my lovely. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story and your
Oh, my
wisdom and your
pleasure.
knowledge. I really appreciate it. And
Great
I'm,
fun.
I'm excited. I'm excited for where you're going and what you're about to create and your community that you're creating. So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for
Oh,
being you.
thank you, darling. It's been great fun. It's
It
been a
has.
great chat.
Instagram, which is amy.plantwhisperer, or www.amyplantwhisperer.com. Like and
Thank you.
subscribe to this podcast. You can find Lydia at www.wildme.com.au.